Hello, Paul. Google.
Good evening.
How are you? Google. Okay, fantastic. Yes, Google
Fantastic.
Plus. Have you joined?
Well, where's Adrian Saville now? Because he's been writing all these articles in the newspaper about how these, social media businesses are rubbish and they can never sustain their PEs and their numbers and so on. Google came out yesterday. It had big revenue uptick from its search business, but it's starting to see traction in Android and Google Plus, which is the new, anti-Facebook or Facebook competitor. It's on fire. It's
okay,
up
but
12%.
Google is very different to social media companies, which was what Adrian Saville was focusing on. Google is a very different company to that because it's got.
Because he's not here.
Well, no, I'm just saying you've got to actually just focus on the fact that social media perhaps is in a bubble, but Google is a very different company to that.
Look, I will concede that it is a little bit tricky to have a $100 billion valuation when you haven't quite worked out what your revenue model is. But clearly, if you've got a business that's growing and everybody from your granny to your 7-year-old sister are on Facebook, it's got to be worth something, and we shall see in the months to come.
Okay.
Of course,
not so much Facebook anymore,
strong.
Actually, more like Google Plus and Twitter, it seems. Facebook's kind of out of vogue, Paul. Okay, merger and acquisition activity.
Yeah, it's just a theme that I thought was
quite
worth
a bit,
mentioning.
actually,
Quite a lot lately.
Yeah.
And it's not because I think the banks are flush with cash that they want to lend out. It's just an indication of how even when people look glum and things don't seem to be going right with the global economy, these things do tend to start coming back. So I take it as yet another sign of, green shoots,
Okay, so quote of the week.
Well, I have the joke of the week, but the quote of the week, somebody was talking about the lottery again. You know this thing about how lottery is a tax on stupidity. We know that old quote. But there was another one which was from John Wayne from a 1949 movie, some thing about the South Pacific or something, and he was addressing his troops and he said, life is tough, but it's even tougher if you're stupid.
Thank you, Paul. I feel very inspired by you today. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us.